Hello ladies and gentlemen, Mk.II here bringing you another Minecraft World War II vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building the Crusader Mk.II. The Crusader in full, known as the Tank Cruiser Mk.VI Crusader, was also known by its general staff number as A15. It was one of the primary British cruiser tanks during the early part of the Second World War. Over 5,000 tanks were manufactured, and they made important contributions to the British victories during the North African campaign. The Crusader tank would not see active service beyond Africa, but the chassis of the tank was modified to create anti-aircraft fire support, observation, communication, bulldozer, and recovery vehicle variants. The version we have in front of us is one of the first variants of that tank. This is the Crusader Mk.II, which had a little bit of up armor compared to the Crusader Mk.I. It was also the last variant to have the 40mm gun until it was replaced by a 57mm gun for the Mk.III versions. So it's a pretty interesting build overall. I think the Crusader tank here is one of those very important tanks that does need to be done up in our British line, especially since the British line has been severely neglected, I'd say, for quite some time. So it's nice to come back, visit them a little bit, and we just did the Churchill, so I feel like a Crusader would go very well alongside it. Now again, this is a tank that's going to be more specific around the early parts of World War II, more likely the African campaign. After the African campaign, the tanks were not really used any much more, so they were just used for training purposes. So realistically, you would probably only have this tank if you're building a North African campaign, but obviously you're free to put it in whatever scenarios you want, but that's the historic accuracy of this tank. Now, with that, we'll go ahead and dive in here, taking a look at the Mk.II. So the Mk.II here, we do have the forward machine gun popped on here. So this is a controllable machine gun turret by like a co-driver or basically just a assistant driver, whatever you want to call them. They would be located here, and they had this machine gun that they could actually control. Now, on the field, a lot of times this turret was removed and the crew member removed. Not exactly sure the reasoning behind it, but they felt it wasn't needed, so they went ahead and usually abandoned the whole mounted machine gun and just had the coaxial. So just kind of keep that in mind. I went ahead and included it because this is how the tank would look from the factory, but just know that in the field, they would often remove this turret completely. We then have the driver's viewport here. We have the turret, which houses the 40mm gun, as well as the coaxial machine gun. The top up here of the turret, again, nothing really too fancy for it. The sides, hull of the tank, pretty straightforward, and then we have the exhaust on the back here, and basically just the area above your engine, as well as the extra fuel tank there on the back. So that right there is pretty much the overview for the Crusader Mk.II. Again, this is going to be kind of the more lightly armed one, definitely the ones you'd be seeing in the very early stages of the African campaign, and hopefully soon here we'll have the Mk.III come out, which is the upgraded version that was more common near the end of the African campaign. With that though, let's go ahead and dive into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so moving into our first layer here, we're going to be going ahead and starting off with layer 1. For layer 1 to start with, we're going to place down another brick slab and then a top slab coming off it like so. We then want to go ahead and go back from the nether brick slab here with 2 polished black stone stairs back to back, a black shulker box that's going to be sideways like so. Again, 2 polished black stone stairs back to back, another shulker box on its side, and then again we're going to place down again 2 polished black stone stairs back to back like that. On the back here, we're going to place down another brick upside down stair, and we'll also go ahead and take our dark prismarine slabs and place down 1, 2, 3 top slabs across from this stair right here. And we're also going to go ahead and go to the front here, and we're going to go ahead and go to this slab and place down our row 3 as well across. We then want to just fill in the space in between those rows of 3 of prismarine with just solid rows all the way across just to fill in the base here of the tank. And then after we have that all finished there, we're going to place down a zombie head on the side of this stair, as well as a dark oak trapdoor, which will be coming off this middle slab here. Now on the other side here, we're going to do the same exact design we did for the tracks just over here. So again, I'm going to go ahead and kind of speed this up here. We're going to go ahead and replicate the same design that we did on the other side. So if you need to, just refer to the other side for example. But again, same thing there on both sides. And of course, we can't forget our upside down stair on the back. And we're also going to place down our zombie head here on the side of this stair here. And then once we have that done, we have the basic kind of layout here set up. And we're going to go ahead and place down a row 3 of trapdoors on the front side here. Now, once we have that all done, we're going to go ahead and take item frames. We're going to place down item frames on these shulker boxes as well as green stained glass panes. And if you're on Java, we can place a dark oak wood button on the side of those shulker boxes. Just a little side note here is that Java is the only version you can place down item frames and buttons in the same block space. So if you're not on Java, you'll unfortunately not be able to place down a button and item frame in the same block space, but you can go ahead and obviously just place down the item frames and call that a day. When it comes to the banners on the wheels, they're pretty straightforward. I'm not going to show you guys how to make them in a loom. I can just really explain them real quick because it's honestly just 4 easy steps. Now, what you're going to need here is you're going to need 2 green banners and 4 black die. What you're going to do is you're going to take your 2 green banners, you're going to alternate them in the loom, but the first one, you're going to go ahead and do a black line that's going to be vertically on the left side, the left half of the banner, and then on the other side, you're going to go ahead and do it on the right vertical side. So you're going to basically have a split banner with green on one side, and these banners are going to be basically opposite from each other. For both banners, then you're going to place down the line that goes of black horizontally through the center of the banner. It's just going to be that line. You're not going to split the banner in half or anything like that. You just want that line. Once you get this design here for the banners, you're going to go ahead and place them on the sides here of these polished black stone stairs with the green portion facing toward each other, and this is just going to help set up our road wheels. The spacing and all that stuff just kind of gives them a little bit more detail and makes them look a little bit more lively. So that right there is all we have for that, and that is going to complete everything we have for layer 1 of the build. Here's what it looks like from the top down view. And with that, we'll be going ahead and jumping into our next layer, which will be layer number 2. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer number 2. For layer 2 to start with, we're going to place down a dark prismarine stair on top of these 2 nether brick slabs, as well as a row 3 of dark prismarine slabs across between those stairs. We're also going to place down dark oak wood signs around these 2 sides here of the stairs, so like this on the corners. And then we're going to place down an item frame coming off these 2 green prismarine slabs with a snowball in them like that. We're going to go then take our end portal frames. We're going to place down our row 3 behind those, as well as a green terracotta block to both sides of that those shulker box or those end portal frames. We're going to go then place down a row of 5 of green terracotta across. This is going to be followed with a second row of 5, a third. Then we have 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So like that going across. Then we're going to go ahead and place down a dark prismarine stair like this to both sides, and then a row of 3 of upside down stairs across the very back there. That is everything you need to do for this layer. Real simple one, and that is going to bring us to our next layer, which will be layer number 3. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 3. For layer 3 to start with, we're going to place down an end portal frame on top of this block here, and also on this one. We're going to place down an item frame come off the side of this end portal frame that's going to be on the right side of the vehicle. And we're going to go ahead and place down a black bed in the item frame, rotated sideways, as well as a dark oak wood sign on the side there if you're on Java. We're going to go ahead and also place down a zombie head that's going to come off the side here of this end portal frame, so you're going to get that design that looks like that. For this gun right here, this other end portal, this is going to be for if you want this turreted machine gun. Again, most of the time it was removed during field operations, so if you do not want to include it, you definitely don't have to. But for us, we're going to be going ahead and including it. Now we're going to place down a dark oak wood fence gate here. We're going to open this fence gate toward the front, a dark oak wood sign on the side here like this, and then a chain going forward for that turret. Real simple stuff. That's all you need to do for that. Now, once that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a dark oak wood trapdoor to both sides, as well as a daylight detector going back from those trapdoors. Make sure you close those trapdoors as they will open with the daylight detector placed down. We're going to go ahead and place down a slab of prismarine on both sides here, and then a dark prismarine stair here in the center, and a corner stair to both sides like that. Once we have that done, we're going to place down a row 3 of green terracotta, a dark prismarine slab to both sides, another green terracotta block in the center here, and another dark prismarine stair to both sides as well, followed by a dark prismarine slab coming out the front of the stairs. Once we have that all done there, we're going to place down another dark prismarine stair in the center, and we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, end portal frames back, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2 dark prismarine slabs. We're also going to place down another slab on both sides there, and then 2 daylight detectors going back like that. Then we're going to place down another dark prismarine slab in the center there, and we're going to go and then place down an end rod to both sides of this slab. After that, we're going to place down another dark prismarine slab, this time on top of these stairs, and then coming off the stairs themselves, we're going to place down a zombie head coming off the slabs like that facing forward. Once we have that all done, we're going to go and place down a item frame that's going to come off these slabs like so, with a black concrete block in the item frame. Again, if you're on Java, we'll place a dark oak wood sign on the side of this slab. If you're not on Java, and really for all versions, we're going to place it on the side here, this slab here without the item frame. Then we want to go ahead and place down another dark prismarine slab in the center, daylight detector at both sides, another green terracotta block in the center there, and then a green shulker box like this to both sides like that. Once we have that done, we're going to place down a lever on the bottom here, flick it so it connects up to that stair there. And again, we're going to do that on both sides. You may have to crouch to place down the lever, so just keep that in mind. And then taking dark oak wood buttons, we're just going to wrap dark oak wood buttons around these two sides of these green shulker boxes like that. And once we have that all done there, that's going to wrap up everything we have for layer number 3 of the build. Here again is what it should look like from the top down view. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 4. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer number 4. For layer 4 to start with, we're going to place down a green terracotta block on top of the stair, as well as a dark prismarine stair to this side. And then behind this, we're going to place down a row 3 of green terracotta all the way across this space. Now, when it comes to this section right here, it's going to be a little bit different depending on your version. If you're not on Java, I'd recommend just going ahead and placing down your dark prismarine stair like that and call it a day. However, if you are on Java and you're on, you have commands enabled, we can type in the command /give space @p Minecraft :debug_stick. So this command here, press and enter will give you this glowing stick. What we can then do is we can go ahead and left click this stair to get selected shape, and it should stay straight. We're going to go and right click this and change this so we have this corner set up. So you're going to go ahead and do something like that there, and that's going to set that turret up. So really kind of straightforward there. When it comes to using these for Java, makes it look a little bit more accurate to the actual version, but that is what we have going on there. Again, it's not a huge problem if you just do this stair on both sides either. On this side here, we're going to place down our chain for our coaxial machine gun, and then we're going to place down 2 end rods going down the center here, and then a lightning rod on the very tip there to go ahead and make your main gun. On the sides of the rows of 3 of green terracotta, we're going to place down a zombie head to both sides. We're going to place down a second row 3 behind that row. On the right side here of the build, we're going to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood fence gate and open it up toward this green terracotta block. And on the other side here, we're going to place down another zombie head just like that. We then want to place down another green terracotta block here in the center. This is going to be followed with a dark prismarine stair to both sides, another dark prismarine stair like that, and then another zombie head here in the corners like so. Once that's all done there, that's going to basically wrap up what we have for layer number 4 of the build. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our last final layers. Here again is a view of what it looks like from a top-down view. With that though, that's going to wrap up that layer, and we'll move on to our last final layers. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our last final layers, we have layers 5 through 7. For these layers to start with, we're going to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood trapdoor. That's going to start on top of this green terracotta block, then 2 daylight detectors back, and then another trapdoor. Make sure again you close those trapdoors like so. We then want to place down a flower pot here to the right side of the turret, a item frame on top of the stair if you can, and then a green terracotta block in the item frame. Same thing over here on this side, just like that. We're going to then place down an end rod right behind this item frame, and then we're going to place down 2 iron bars that go up. We also want to go ahead and place down a end rod that's going to go on top of this stair, or this zombie head here, and again go 2 iron bars up like that for the radio antenna. Very last thing for us to do is just to go ahead and take a zombie head, and we're going to place it down on top of this fence gate here, just like that. And once you have that all done right there, that's going to wrap up everything we have for layers 5 through 7, and with that, my tutorial here for the Crusader Mk.II. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this design and are able to put it to good use. If you do use this build, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. This can be a thing from the side on the build, link to my channel or this video if this does appear on any social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for the build, you're free as a favorite projects you guys are working on. And that, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Mk.II 2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.